Hi, my name is Ashley Templeton. I'm one, a huge dog lover, but two, I work at Four Paws Unleashed, which is a dog kennel here in Richmond. These are my two coworkers. They're going to be my audience for today. So I just want to talk about the history of dogs and humans and how it's changed over time. So we'll go back to the very beginning. So first, the transition from wolves to dogs in evolutionary history. Because of gaps in the fossil record and also just some misconceptions between archaeologists, there's a lot of different ideas on when the transition actually occurred, but most archaeologists believe that it happened at least 12,000 years ago, right around the end of the Pleistocene, which was the last ice age. And there's a couple different theories on how the transition first happened. Hal Herzog talks about a couple different theories in his book, Some We Love, Some We Hate, Some We Eat. In the first theory, he talks about human, purposeful domestication of the animals. He talks about humans possibly going out into the wild, somehow collecting wolf cubs, bringing them home, and then raising them to be tame and docile and easier to work with. But Hal Herzog points out a couple different issues with this theory. So first, he points out that wolf cubs, when taken from the wild, cannot be tamed if they're taken after 3 weeks of age. So they have to be taken at least 3 weeks of age or younger, or else it's not going to work out. Also, when you do get these cubs, you have to spend 24/7 with them for the following few months of their lives, or else they will revert back to their natural ways and they will be too aggressive to handle. So back in the day, these people were hunter-gatherers. They didn't have a lot of free time on their hands to worry about raising wolf cubs. So Hal Herzog proposed another theory. He suggested that perhaps dogs began as dumpster divers. He believes that wolves began feeding on the trash that was left behind by humans on their settlements, and the wolves that were able to get closer faster got more food. Therefore, they were evolving in a manner that decreased their fear of humans. So the wolves that were able to get closer to the humans were able to get more food and were reproducing and evolving in this way. And humans eventually began to take in these wolves that had less fear towards them and found out that they could actually train them in ways that could help them hunt. So the relationship began in a commensalism type of way, where the wolves were benefiting and the humans weren't getting anything out of it. But the humans turned it in a way that made it mutually beneficial to both species. So the humans began using the wolves, or the dogs, to hunt, and they were able to get more food. This gave them more free time to work on craft specialization and permanent settlements. So over the next couple thousands of years, the bond just increased and just became stronger and stronger as the two species were evolving together. So fast forward maybe 3,000-4,000 years, we get to the Renaissance. This is when you really start to see the companionship aspect of humans and dogs. You start to see dogs appearing in art, in family portraits. It was also a symbol for economic wealth. The rich and wealthy would always try to include their prized hunting dogs and stuff into their paintings. Also, you start to see selective breeding by humans, artificial selection. You start to see humans start breeding for certain qualities in dogs. They bred hounds with keen senses of smell, and retrievers and bird dogs for hunting, and you actually start to see the first lap dogs. And lap dogs were a huge economic wealth object. So if a woman was able to afford a lap dog that had no other purpose than companionship and aesthetic value, it just really showed her wealth. So you start to see that, and you'll start to see dogs appearing in religious arts and stuff. You know, art that just shows how important they really were to humans and society. So then we're going to fast forward a couple more thousand years, and we'll get to today. Today is very different. In a lot of places, especially America, dogs are considered family. They're considered, you know, they're allowed in the house, and they sleep in your bed, and they're your best friend. I mean, they're man's best friend, which we've been evolving with them for at least 12,000 years. So it would make sense that we have this close relationship with dogs. But today you'll see them supported by the legal system. There's the Animal Welfare Act and all kinds of different laws that are meant to protect our animals. And I think it's just really interesting to see how it's changed over time. Dogs began feeding on our trash. Now people are buying specialized meals and cooking meals for their dogs. Dogs began strictly outside, and now they're welcomed in homes. They were considered property, and now they're considered family. So I think if the relationship between humans and dogs continues on this same path that it has been, I think we're only going to see a closer bond form. So I just think dogs are really important to humans, and that's all I have to say. Thank you.